Did you know that sausage gravy and biscuits are a lot like a tomato? What? Now, see if you can follow me here. Now, sausage gravy and buttermilk biscuits are ubiquitous throughout the Appalachian Mountains. One of my favorite breakfasts, and you'll find them everywhere. We love our biscuits and we love our sausage gravy. But how is it like a tomato? Well, a few different ways. First off, if you've ever had a homegrown, delicious heirloom tomato, you know how amazing that tomato is. And then if you buy one from the store, especially in the winter, it's a horrible facsimile of a tomato, right? Sausage gravy is the same way. If it's made with love and care, it can be one of the most amazing meals you've had in your whole life. But if it's not, it falls flat. So I'm going to show you how to make sausage gravy and biscuits the right way. I've been making sausage gravy my whole life. I make sausage gravy the way I tie my shoes. I don't even know, I just do it. So I'm gonna really boil it down today so that we can go through these steps together. But biscuits are still something I'm working on perfecting. So we're going to make our biscuits, and while they bake, we'll make our sausage gravy. So we're gonna start with the biscuits. For today's biscuits, I referenced this recipe in the book by Linda Skeen's Blue Ribbon Kitchen. I recently came across this book in Miss Linda's story, and I thought it would be really cool to work her into the video today. You can buy this book on Amazon. You should definitely check it out. For our buttermilk biscuits today, we're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of table salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 6 tablespoons of cold salted butter, 1 cup of whole buttermilk, plus a little bit more to brush on top our biscuits. As we get our ingredients together, we're going to want to preheat our oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, in a mixing bowl, we're going to mix together our flour, baking powder, salt, and baking soda. Just give those a little dry mix. I like to use a fork. Now we're going to cut in our butter, but a technique I really like, and I'm going to add to Miss Linda's recipe here, is to cut my butter up into cubes first, and then put it in the freezer for a little while and get it really cold. I've been taught this makes the biscuits a lot more flaky. To cut the butter in, you can use a pastry cutter. You can use a food processor if you want to make it really easy, or you can just use a fork. This isn't a big batch, so I'm just going to use a fork. So we want to work that freezing cold butter into our dry mix, cut it in, push it in with our forks, manipulating it until it starts to come together and look like a coarse wet sand or just a really nice coarse crumb. Now we're going to stir in our cup of buttermilk. Mix that together with the fork and work it in with your hands. We're going to turn that out onto a lightly floured cutting board and knead it about 10 times. Now roll it into a rectangle. Now this is another spot where I'm going to deviate from Miss Linda's recipe just a bit. I was taught that if you roll the biscuit dough out thinner and then fold it over, it'll be really easy to crack it open when it's baked. So we're going to roll it out to 1/4 inch thick, fold it over, give it another light roll, and then using a 4-inch biscuit cutter, cut out our rounds. We're going to place the biscuit rounds onto our baking sheet and brush the tops with buttermilk and put them into our preheated 450 degree oven for 10 to 15 minutes. I pulled these biscuits out at 14 minutes and they're fully cooked and crispy, but you can see they're a little flat. I think I overworked the dough, and that's something I still want to work on to get my biscuits to be perfect, because you want a nice lofty biscuit. While our biscuits are baking, we're going to start our sausage gravy. We're going to get a large high-walled saucepan. It can be a Rondo or another saucepan, but something that's going to hold all the liquid of the gravy. For our sausage gravy, we'll need 2 pounds of sausage, 4 tablespoons of flour, 4 cups of milk, and right around 2 teaspoons of coarse ground black pepper. I also like to add a pinch of red pepper flakes. We're going to start our pan out on a medium-high heat. Once it warms up, we'll add our sausage. We want it to be good and sizzling when we first add it in there, and we're going to cook it fast enough to develop a bit of that Maillard reaction where we're caramelizing the sugars that are in the sausage, but not so fast that we burn it. Cook the sausage until it's fully cooked, and also look for a bit of that Maillard reaction. Look for a little bit of that color on the outside of our sausage. I also like to not break it up to be too fine. I want those clumps of sausage to really stand out in the gravy at the end for the dish. Once the sausage is fully cooked, we're going to sprinkle our flour right on top of the sausage. It's a good idea to lower the temperature a little bit here just so nothing scorches. Once you have the flour completely incorporated with the sausage and you don't actually see the flour anymore, slowly add in 4 cups of whole milk. Now we can turn our flame back up again, and we're going to bring our gravy up to a light simmer, stirring mostly the whole time. Once the gravy begins to simmer, you're going to see it start to thicken up. Keep working it around, breaking the fond up from the bottom of the pan as the gravy comes together. Once the gravy has come up and thickened, let's add in our coarse black pepper and a little bit of red pepper flakes. That's it. Your gravy is done, and it's perfect. To plate, we're going to take our biscuits, crack those open at that perfect seam, and ladle in about 4 to 6 ounces of this delicious, thick sausage gravy. We'll finish it with another little pinch of red pepper flakes and maybe another pinch of coarse ground black pepper because I love them both, and then we'll serve them up to happy people. So sausage gravy is just like a tomato in that when it's good, it's really good, and when it's bad, it's really disappointing. But where they differ is that when it's the perfect tomato that makes the perfect BLT, but it's the perfect technique that makes the perfect sausage gravy. And now you know the technique. So go forth, make perfect sausage gravy for everyone all across the land. We've all had that experience of the perfect bite, that bite that lights us up from the inside and makes us happy to be alive. A fresh tomato is a great way to have that. This sausage gravy is another great way to achieve that. I want to hear from you. What is your perfect bite moment? When did you put a morsel of food into your mouth and it lit up your entire existence? Tell me about it in the comments below. And hey, on your way to the comments, make sure you smash that subscribe button.